man, wait till you see this. Holy cow. Censorship bombshell. My goodness. So, this was apparently put out by Mr. CEO of Meta Platforms, Mark Zuckerberg. And if this ever winds up, like if he comes out and denies this, I know this is kind of like a really kind of fresh release as it's going around on other social media sites like X and stuff like that. So if this winds up not being true or whatever, I will take down this video. But I think it looks pretty legit. So let's take a look. I'm going to open this up in a new tab so that we can actually look at... Oh, there we go. It's a lot larger. To the Honorable Judge Jordan, blah, blah, blah. Address for DC. Yeah. Chairman Jordan, I appreciate the committee's interest in content moderation on online platforms. As you are aware, Meta has produced thousands of documents as part of your investigation and made a dozen employees available for transcribed interviews. Further to our cooperation with your investigation, I welcome the opportunity to share what I've taken away from this process. There's a lot of talk right now around the U.S. government interactions with companies like Meta, and I want to be clear about our position. Our platforms are for everyone. We're about promoting speech and helping people connect in a safe and secure way. As part of this, we regularly hear from governments around the world and others with various concerns around public discourse and public safety. In 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take down the content, and we own our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction. And we're ready to push back if something like this happens again. So yes, did they get pressure from the Biden administration? Yes. Mark Zuckerberg is saying we did not change any processes or algorithm type stuff due to that pressure. That's what he's saying. And that's in that paragraph. In a separate situation, the FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election. That fall, when we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving then Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's family, we sent that story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It's since been made clear that that reporting was not Russian disinformation, and in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We've changed our policies and processes to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the U.S. while waiting for fact checkers. So that is interesting. So they did demote something waiting for a fact checking to confirm a story or not on Biden family interactions and stuff like that. Interesting. Here's the second page. Opening up new tab. Apart from content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the last presidential cycle to support electoral infrastructure. The idea here was to make sure local election jurisdictions across the country had the resources they needed to help people vote safely during a global pandemic. I made these contributions through the Chan Zuckerberg initiative. They were designed to be nonpartisan, spread across urban, rural, and suburban communities. Still, despite the analysis I've seen shown otherwise, I know that some people believe this work benefited one party over the other. My goal is to be neutral and not play a role one way or another, or to even appear to be playing a role. So I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. Respectfully, Mark Zuckerberg, founder, chairman, and CEO. CC'd the Honorable Gerald Nadler, ranking member. So there you go. Yeah, this is interesting. So obviously they have censored stuff. This has been an ongoing issue. It's not just Meta. It's even here on YouTube, right? We know this. This is something that should not be allowed. Period. Not in the U.S. You know, maybe in other countries where they have different laws, like Brazil. Go to Brazil if you want to censor stuff. But it's this part, this last sentence right here. So I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. Like when people feel like they are giving this last paragraph is actually pretty good. You know, he's giving out of, you know, I feel like my country needs resources to make sure people during a once in a lifetime type of situation are safe, and it looks like one party benefited more than the other, and it's just exploitation. It's like that shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. Let me know what you think.